What's going on, VC? Joachim here. I hope everybody's doing well. Cheers. Today I'm going to share with you not also around 70 records, but also just going a little share some thoughts here when it comes to record collecting and the importance or lack of importance of compilations. Again, beer drinking and cigarette smoking is gonna happen here. I apologize for not keeping up with the PC times we live in, working on it. So how did we get here with this video on compilations? You know, I just don't come here without 2 cents of bullshit to share. So from a record collector standpoint, I know I've said in the past that I do not consider myself a record collector, but let's keep it real. Been buying records for at least 35 years, non-stop, so looks like I have a problem. I might be considered collecting or hoarding for some. But one thing that I want to talk about it is the fact that this kind of ties back into how annoyed I was 20 years ago with the vinyl resurgence. I'm not gonna deny it. At the time, you know, when you're in, it's like one of those things. You become selfish, right? When you invest so much time into something that you truly love, it's kind of like you hold it as sacred, and then when it becomes you know, something for everybody, right? Well, not something for everybody. It always should be for everybody, but when the mainstream embrace it, right? When the culture war is lost. You know, I was, you know, young and dumb, right? Kind of like kind of annoyed. Of course, with time, with age, and also you get to appreciate, like, fuck, finally, you know, you have easy access to all these things, and you know, you'll let your you know, selfish, youthful, nonsensical, you know, illogical reasons out of the way. But still, there are things among the record collecting universe that are annoying. You know, it's especially when we were all introduced to the internet and everything became so accessible. You know, what might have took people decades or entire life to you know, of time and dedication to find, understand, write about it, you know, suddenly within minutes you have academics on any topic of human existence, you name it, and this reflects on the world of music or record collecting, right? I wonder how so many people, and this is undeniable. This is not speculation. This is a fact. I know many like that. I work with people like that. You know, simple example. I have a coworker that she has probably like 5,000 records that she gathered in the last 3 years. So you name it. Did she listen to it? No, of course not. It's like some people buy wind chimes, others buy records. And as a passionate music fan, in particular a punk rock fan, you know, we refuse to grow old even though we feel it, and there's that counter culture aspect of it that is so, was it was the key factor that attracted me to the punk rock sounds and everything adjacent to it, or everything that grew out of it, and everything that generated it. It's fucking annoying, So I'm not a record collector because I don't want to engage in conversations with these types of record collectors. But one thing that I find, and that's why compilations, I know I'm not being very linear here, but that's Joachim Muir, so you get it. But one thing that, for me, compilations played an important role in my growth as a punk rock fan was because at the time that was the only thing you had available to discover new things. Prior to streaming, that was it. Compilations, you'll buy things, blind buys, you buy a comp because there's one band that you knew, or you buy a comp because it was on a cheap bin, and then you were exposed to a bunch of cool stuff. I know these days you can stream, you can, spend spend or waste time on streaming trying to find the next big thing that is gonna get you hyped up. But till this day, man, nobody will ever convince me there is a better musical experience, rather than seeing a band playing live that you never heard of them and being blown away, or buying a compilation with a bunch of shit that you never heard, and it's just like you open a can of worms and you're hooked. So these are all great comps. I think I picked up a good selection. I have a lot of comps. So this is a great selection. I will recommend every single one of the compilations that I'm about to share with you guys, if you're into punk rock, or if you're too into any kind of, alternative music. I mean, not for the normies. I selected essentials, randoms, favorites. There's some series of comps that I just grabbed one. And let's deep dive in this. And also one thing that I got to share here that is one of the beauty of compilations, at least for me. I shared with you guys I'm doing some humongous box set of cassettes, bootleg mixtapes, and I know whoever's gonna listen to it, a lot of things not gonna make sense. But one of the beauty of the comps is always you get intrigued by how people behind these compilations, what was their mindset, how did they come up with this? Because certain things don't, at least within punk rock, certain things kind of this doesn't make sense, right? So an average Joe will make a CD or whatever, or a playlist of outlaw country, and every fucking song sounds absolutely the same because they gotta stay, within a certain wavelength. There's no room for commotion. It's gotta be happy, blindfold people kind of thing. Cheers. So a great example is right off the bat, a legendary compilation. I don't remember the year of this, but this has got to be probably 82, around that time, 81. Is the fourth release on Alternative Tentacles. Let Them Eat Jelly Beans, and this is a phenomenal comp. 17 extracts from America's darker side, and here you have all the way from Flipper, Black Flag, Bad Brains, Circle Jerks, Feeder, Subhumans, Giz X to Christian Lunch, Half Japanese, The Offs. So it's already a miscellanea of sounds that for someone that obeys will not make any sense. This is an absolutely essential to understand American punk rock. This is probably my favorite comp when it comes to Californian punk by far. This is the American Youth Report. This came out originally on Bump Records. This is the second pressing from '82 on Invasion Records. And this is just a banger of a comp. Modern Warfare, Bad Religion, Channel 3, Adolescence, Lost Cause, Legal Weapon, Flesh Eaters, Rhino 39, Hypnotics, Sentence, MIA, TSOL, Shattered Fate, Minuteman, RF7, and Red Cross. Yeah, this is another testament of the early stages of what became known as American hardcore. A must for sure. Pick this one up because this is a comp that I don't see it. I never saw anyone sharing. These are here. This is something to believe in on BYO. Someone's gonna get their head kicked in. Is their most is their first comp. This is the second. This is the most well known. But this one, this banger, is super important to me. Was this comp? I was introduced to one of my favorite hardcore bands from Canada called Youth. Was through this comp. This is an absolute banger. This is a comp with DOA, Personal Crisis, Big Boys, Young Lions, Stretch Marks, a lot of Canadian stuff, Rigor Mortis, Youth Brigade, Channel 3. I think this one is one of those that I'll easily say criminally underrated. A banger right here. A magazine that put out some killer records. I love everything that Flipside ever put out, and this fucking comp, it's just amazing. This is the Volume 2 Flipsides, Volume 2, and this is amazing. MIA, Decry, Outpatients, Naked Raygun, Iconoclast, Germs, Agent Orange, Plain Rap. This is just banger after banger. Necros, there's Misfits playing Attitude live. It's a banger. It's my favorite actually Flipside release. Another essential comp, and now as of now we're still staying in the Americas. The L comes to your house, man. This comp, absolutely game changer. This is mostly what now these days that we are also opinionated. That there's this world of information in front of us, that you can just click on it and you become again an academic on anything you can name it. But this, I remember this clearly. There was things here that were not easy to digest. I'm not gonna lie to you. Christian death 30 years ago, I could not. I was not as an individual. I was, even though, and I come from a background that I listened to, English goth. I listened to things like Fields of Nephilim and Icons of the Mission and that kind of shit. But I was not prepared for bands like a Christian Death, and this is like a banger of a comp, like the classic LA-ish death rock, man. 45 Grave, Christian Death, Super Heroine, Social D, Legal Weapon, Red Cross, Modern Warfare, Secret 8, Conservatives. This was a comp that really fucking tested the plasticity of my brain for sure, and I think till this day will put a lot of people to test if you uh, give it a go. An absolutely classic comp, one of the first comps that was like this, just like international punk hardcore comps that was like mind blowing, you know. There's few bands here that I can tell you right off the bat that was my first introduction to this, but to them. But Cleanse the Bacteria on Postmort, man. Civil Dissident, Siege, Crude SS, Execute from Japan, Zyklon A from Belgium, Enola Gay, Septic Death. This is a classic. And there's another thing about this I want to tell about comps. I know during that the vinyl resurgence, maybe 20 years ago, on personal experience, and also friends that own record stores or within the business told me, like all these young bucks that embraced this and jack the prices up to us, you know, for us. They did. They contributed to this nonsense that you can fucking afford anything. I will never, you know, pay hundreds of dollars for a punk record. That's the least punk thing ever, in my opinion. You know, as much as I love them, I would like to have them, you know, but there was a generation that embraced this trend, this hype. And I know at the time, like, comps, no, people were not, they wanted the fucking grails right off the bat. You know, it's just like, they wanted the grails. They wanted the OG pressings and all that. It was like, shut the fuck up. Just buy a CD. You know, you just bought your first record player a week ago, and now you wanna buy the first pressing of Cough Cool. Come on, you know, it's that consumerism mentality. That's all right, man. But I gotta give you some shit for that. Yeah. So, and some of these comps now, including this one, for many are grails. A great series of American punk comps is this one, Rap Music for Rap People. I'm sharing with you volume 3 today, just because this comp, you know, is another thing about compilations. There's some songs that you can only find on compilations. There's some deep cuts that pop anywhere else but compilations. This one is right. Yes, DI, COC, Doggy Style, Raw Power, White Flag, Sacrilege, Mojo Nixon and Skid Roper, DI playing Sweet, Ballroom Blitz. That's pretty rad. This is a great comp. One side is live, the other one is studio. There's another comp that is a testament of the weirdness of sound. Like, America is a weird place, but it's definitely a fucking cool place. Then it's a great comp. Eastern Front, you know, Van says TSOL and DOA, but then you have, you know, Tanks, Offs and Twirling Midgets. Yeah. It's a comp that proves that punk is not uniform. You know, a lot of these comps, they prove that punk rock is definitely a beast with many tentacles. It's not cannot be defined. I think there's a few statements that can be made about punk rock, you know, that are acceptable. Things such as is definitely opposition to the status quo mentality. You know, is a sound that doesn't follow traditional music structures, but is not chaotic, sloppy, nonsensical. There's a lot of fucking heart in punk. I think there's very few music genres that have as much heart um, as punk does. I think music in general, you know, has heart, but most genres, they gotta they're eyeballing, um, they're eyeballing the corporate man, and that's where things get shitty. Hardcore. This is on Mystic Records. This is pretty much this is a reissue 24 years of hardcore from Oxnard and surrounding areas. This is like nerdcore. Nerdcore is mid 80s, early 80s, mid 80s sound from Oxnard, which is an area in California. It's very. It's like Californians, they like to surf and skate, drink beer, and listen to Minor Threat. Classic, banger, a lot of bands. Also, got one thing you gotta be said and give it to Californian punks, because they don't get recognition a lot of times for that. It's like California was, if when you're talking about trash, California was definitely one of the scenes that embrace the trash sound. I prefer California crossover over crossover for anywhere else. It's a banger right here. Check it out. Ill Repute, Scared Straight, Rat Pack, Abuse, Corpus Aggression, RKL, Riders, Dr. No, Stalag 13, and False Confessions. This is a banger of a comp. It's a classic. Bitch Boulevard. This is not the original. This is a Record Store Day from 2020, and it's just as early. California, mostly LA punk bands. Simple Tones, Rick Rick Crowd, F Word, and The Clan. This is a classic. This is like, if you like California punk, I know a lot of people, especially younger people, that their first introduction to punk was the likes of Green Day and Rancid and stuff like that. They're likely to relate to California punk, what they call skate punk, which I'm not going to debate that. It is for that particular generation. But this is something that you want to check it out. This will blow you the fuck away, and will help you understand where you're coming from. This is a banger of a comp, New York Trash, from 1982 on Raw Records. Original cassette tape. I highly encourage you to check this one out, because I know that the scene in between the CBGBs, Max Kansas City, the likes of Television and Talking Heads and Dead Boys and Thunders, Ramones, Patti Smith, and the list goes on and on and on. And then the New York hardcore scene, the in-between scene is not well documented. This is a perfect documented that captures that's what happened in between the first wave New York punk to the well-known New York hardcore. This is the in-between, that transition. Great comp. The Mad, Crowd, Heart Attack, Adrenaline OD, Even Worse, Fiends, Nihilistics, Undead, False Prophets, Bad Brains, Beastie Boys, and Stimulators. A lot of these bands, my favorite track from those bands is in this comp. This is a banger. This is a Mystic Records. I showed an hardcore comp. But Mystic has a shit ton of comps. I picked this one because I love this comp. This is a comp that every time I play this comp, I listen to it at least twice, back to back. Talking about Party Animal. What a comp, man. There's 41 bands in this comp, and it's just banger after banger. There's a lot. You like Don't Know, such an underrated, unsung heroes. Really, it's a phenomenal California band that they never got their dues. Subterfuge, yes, Cancerous Growth in here. This is just amazing. If it, and probably you cannot stream this shit, maybe on YouTube, but it's one of those that you deep dive on this one and you're gonna be like, whoa, I gotta check this band, I gotta check that band. So many great shit in this that you probably can't find anywhere else but in this comp on some other Mystic comps. This comp is amazing. I bought this comp when this came out as a reissue. This was reissued a few years back, and I'm gonna tell you why. And this is stupid because this comp is like phenomenal. This is Maximum Rock and Roll, Not So Quiet on the Western Front. This is a reissue of it. This comp is amazing. It's just amazing. It's like, you listen to this comp, there's bands from almost every single state in this country, and so many bands that you can put your music taste to the test. So many like unsung heroes in here. It's phenomenal. The only reason it took me so long to grab this comp, might be a European thing, but I remember when I was a young punk, I think in Europe we're more politicized, kind of more militant, or we were back then. These days, everything is the same. And Maximum Rock and Roll, it always came across certain reviews as very, pretentious, opinionated. While at least for me, in the little universe that I was living on, it was all about unity and changing the world. And these guys, were not always up to pinpointing the positive aspects of a certain record. They were always, trying to nitpick. But no, there was some youthful dumb shit. A banger. To show you some essential OI comps. I have so many OI comps that is ridiculous. You don't even know. You don't even want to know how many I have. But I'm going to share some essentials. OI the album. And, OI the album. Just Terrible Twins and Postman, along with all the classics in here. Will make this your day. Will make your day. Son of Oi. Joy of Sex. And Syndicate. Two classic comps. The beauty of these comps, man, it's that again, if you're young, just bumped into this channel, I'm showing some Oi records, and you're living through what the Oi scene is today, and you go check these records, you're gonna get a fucking slap on your face, but you will appreciate it. If the Kids Are United, that's a fucking amazing comp. Sham 69 Exploited, Cockney Ridge Explodes, UK Subs for Skins, Angelic Upstart. But the reason why I'm showing this comp is because this comp has toy dolls, and as far as I can recall, I didn't dig into my records to find that answer, but I think it's the only place you can find toy dolls. I Got Hazma, a live studio recording, maybe in a single, but if it is, I don't have it. This is an excellent comp. This came out maybe in the 90s, but it's a great series. on Street Kids Records. Bright Side of Oi is again mind band. Not all the bands here are Oi. You know, you have Crack in here. You have Class Criminale from Italy. You have Dead Wretched, that is clearly a UK82 band. You have the Radix. I believe the Radix are from New York. Angelic Upstarts. Yeah, it's just excellent. Every single song in here is a fucking anthem. I had to share this one. This is Oi on Oi Records. Man, for the ones you know, you know. And one thing that I appreciate with age, as a punk rock fan, it's like I like to learn. I like to get some urban legends demystified. And one thing that is fucking amazing to me, and it puts things in perspective, simplifies things. You know, sometimes we tend to justify our heroes and all that stuff. And the one thing that these days it just resonates to me is just like, these subculture genres, music genres, they're made for the youth. They're not made for me or for the old folks. They're not made for us. So these guys, they're young, like we were, young, dumb, full of cum. So it's pretty easy to make bad calls. This comp shows you how gatekeeping, trying to justify any of your darkest unconfident beliefs through punk rock is nothing but a dumb call. This comp features The Oppressed, Vicious Rumors, Section 5, Complete Control, Feckin' Idiots, Barbed Wire, Condemned, Oi84, Society Rejects, and Oi Polloi. Check that out. Think about it. If you know, you know. My favorite UK82 series on No Future Records. Country Fit for Heroes, Volume 1. Country Fit for Heroes, Volume 2 on No Future Records. This is just banger after banger. Blitzkrieg, Violators, Hostile Use, Samples, One-Way System, Attack, Crux, Protest, Distortion, Sadists, Chaotic Youth, Patrol, On Parole, ABH. These two are a fucking banger of a document. Sharing this one because this is a comp that came out in 1990, but this comp means a lot to me, and the reason why, phenomenal comp, Driven to Death on Clear Records, featuring GBH Lurkers, Discharge Abrasive Wheels, plus English Dogs. For some reason they are not on the cover. Some discrimination here. Even punks can be dicks. No, joking. But this comp was important to me because it was the very first time that I listened to tracks from English Dogs and Lurkers that were not what I was used to. It was, at this point I only knew Abrasive Wheels debut and a couple of their first singles. So that approach that they took with Black Leather Girl album with more poppy sensibility was something that I was not ready for, and this was my wake-up call, and I fell in love with it since. Great comp, sounds amazing, and pretty much has the best tracks from every single band. Discharge, Decontrol, State Violence, State Control, Ain't No Feeble Bastard, Never Again. English Dogs, by far the best tracks from the band. Psycho Killer, The Spoils of War, Cranked Up Really High, banger of a comp. Series that I highly encourage anyone, if you come across, buy them. Is Money in the Bank. I'm just showing one of quite a few that they did. This is on Captain Oi. Captain Oi, they did the Punk Singles collections focus on labels. This is focus on roundelette. You know, all these comps have all the singles from the labels and sound amazing. This is fantastic, as you can tell here. Special duties, anti-passy, right squad, threats. You know, this is Money in the Bank. Yeah, this is a banger of a comp. I'm sharing you now 3 essential Anarcho punk comps everybody should have. Bullshit Detector on Crass Records. This is the perfect introduction to Anarcho punk. This is my favorite comp on Mortar 8 band run that was ran by the guys on Conflict. Mortar 8, We Won't Be Your Fucking Poor. A banger double LP. Shit ton of bands. They're gonna go already on the 35-minute mark. No time to beat through all the details here. Again, just wanted to give you records and records and records so you can go and be the judge and jury yourself. Orgasm, fantastic comp. This is a comp that proves that there's nothing linear about punk. You cannot apply a label because there's bands. Captain Sensible is here with Flux of Pink Indians and Mau Mau's and Dead Kennedys. This is, of course, I should have started the video by sharing these 3. These are essential. Punk and Disorderly, the 3 volumes. I know these are well known, but my question to you is, did you really listen to these 3 comps? Because if you did, I know you were blown away by it. Probably were exposed to 40 bands. There was bands, if it wasn't for these comps, I would never heard bands such as like The Mob. The fuck knew The Mob? Unless you're from England and most likely from the area, Colchester, you never heard about fucking The Mob. I know, I'm just saying. Absolutely first wave punk rock, some of my favorite British punk rock, some of my favorites right here. Raw Deal on Raw Records. Man, the Users, Acme Sewage Company, GT's, World Clot, Six Things, Psychos, Killjoys, Zane. Fabulous. I remember like listening to this shit and I was like, fuck, some of these guys that were pre-Sex Pistols, I can't believe that shit is mind-blowing indeed, because it is. And Raw Records, oh no, it's more from Raw Records. This is actually on Damaged Goods, maybe from like 25 years ago. Amazing. The Unwanted, The Users, Killjoy, Some Chicken, the Emma Smith Gorilla, Soft Boys, Lockjaw, Some Chicken again, The Now, banger right here. If you're a 77 punk rock fan, special comp, very special comp for me. Gift for New Wave. This comp is from 1977, and man, I think this comp is not talked more, maybe because Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers is featured in here. But man, this comp is fucking amazing. This comp was a comp that exposed me to Radiators from Space. That's how important this shit is to me. This shit has Rubino's, Motors, Johnny Moped, Eddie and the Hot Rods, Hotwords, Generation X, X-Ray Specs, Tom Petty, Jonathan Richman from the Modern Lovers, Motorhead, man, a comp with Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers and Motorhead. Go figure. Punks in Dump. Great series here. Business Unusual. It's a great comp on Zigzag Records. This series is a banger, man. He has like Leighton Buzzards, UK Subs, Outsiders, Outcasts, Vice Creams, Cabaret Voltaire. So again, figure, would you make a mixtape with UK Subs and Cabaret Voltaire? Probably won't. Neither Spotify will do that for you. Amazing comp. Year of the Rats. I have no idea what year this is, but this is a comp like England, US, Australia, crime, urinals, fun things, Radio Birdman, New Christ, Satan's Rats, All Level, Matt Gimmick. What was this guy thinking? What was his thought process? This is a banger. These will melt your face. Now let me show you some international shit. Sweden, love this series. Hardcore Elite Rain, Volume 1. Swedish hardcore, Disarm, SOD, Bomb and Fall, Absurd and Existence. This series is a banger. Everything is fucking banger. Most well-known Swedish series is a really fast comps, which I have a bunch of them on CD. I have one on racks, I believe. But this is Money in the Bank if you come across. Japanese Essentials. This is my favorite. The Hardcore Unlawful Assembly. Laughing Oz. Laughing Nose. To Boss, Gizm, Cobra, Mobs, O2, Lip Cream, and Zoo. This is You Need This in Your Life. This is probably the most well known. Great punk shits. It's classic, essential. And I'm gonna share with you Oi of Japan Volume 2 because this is better than Oi of Japan Volume 1. Way better. Wanna learn a little bit about New Zealand punk, post-punk, new wave. AK-79 is the one to go to. Terrorways, Proud Scum, Suburban Reptiles, banger of a comp. One of the most important comps in my life. The Peace War Benefit. This is just like punk, early 80s punk from all over the world, you name it, all over the world. Introduced me to a shit ton of bands, shit ton of scenes. Everybody should have this comp. If I ever sell my records, this comp I will keep. That's how important it is to me. On that vein, years back, this comp came out, 8 in Love. It's kind of like a take on the Peace War Benefit comp, but this is nothing but Italian punk, and you have it all from the very, very first wave of Italian punk to Italian hardcore, or you name it, everything in is here, from Navato, Raw Power, Dioxina, everything is in here. This is excellent. These two comps for Dutch punk, this shit came out maybe 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Absolute bangers, I Don't Care Volume 1 and 2. This is absolutely essential for any first wave 77 punk, pogo punk fan. Amazing. Holland Hardcore, there's like 3 volumes. This is the Volume 1. Hardcore fan, Volume 1 is just, it's gonna melt your face. You'll be blown the fuck away from early 80s Dutch bands that you never heard. It's gonna make your day. Make your day. Yeah. It's me, Vikings, Tanks, La Resistance, Larm. Yeah, Larm is well known, as well as me, Glorious Death. This is banger right here. Just one for Spanish punk, which was reissued recently at Cine for Sale recently, but punk que punk. It's a banger right here. First wave Spanish punk, Brazilian punk, an essential. Everybody must have. Is Sub. This is your grammar school for Brazilian punk. Legendary, brilliant comp. I absolutely love this comp. Argentinian punk. This compilation probably is one of my favorite B-sides ever. Any record. Invasion 88, this is phenomenal. Again, when you want to learn about Argentinian punk, that's what you need. Let me show 4 of my favorite. There's so many, but anyways, Finnish punk, Jalta Life, Jalta Jai Life, Tervet Kanet, Varaus, Evo Protesti, Chaos, and many more greats. This is essential. As essential, this one is as well. Propaganda, Russia Bombs Finland. This is just like Bastards, Chaos, Servet Cadet, Secunda, Appendix, Takao, Resisted, banger. Let me actually listen to a cassette. Let me turn that shit around. Pajala. Love this one. It's probably my favorite because I'm a sucker for 77 Pogo Punk, and this one has a bunch of my favorites. 1978 Problems, Serge Schnell, Pele Miliona. Yeah, this is a banger. And of course, Propaganda Hardcore 83. There's no introduction to this. This is a classic for any hardcore fan. You don't even need to be a Finnish hardcore fan, just hardcore in general. This is the institution. If you have any questions, I'll send you Tommy's phone number because he's the man to answer those questions. French punk. And I got a couple for you. First wave, French punk, Panic, banger right here. Really early stages of French punk. Guilty Razors, Unir, Electroshock, Gasoline, banger. Great comp, Oi French Connection, early 80s French punk. Oi, one of the few comps you can find Snicks and Swingle Porkies in it, banger. These are classics. Case de France. This is amazing just because of No Pub alone. And this one is for the ones that are like a little bit more weird experimental stuff, even though there's a lot of straightforward punk stuff in here. But if you like the Residents, you might bump into some bands in this comp that it will be like blown the fuck away. A series that is great too, even though they have some pop and rock things, but they do have punk and Cherry Red. This is what year is this shit? 1987. Check this one out. Doesn't look punk as much, but this is a fucking banger of a comp with Not Sensibles, Rape, Panic, Abrasive Wheels, Saints, Lipstick on My Collar, which is one of my favorite songs by the band. Yeah. So don't sleep on Cherry Red, even though you're working for the man, the corporate man. Great comp. Feel Lucky Punk. This is just like, this shit has Nasal Boys and Natural Acts, Child Molesters, Queers, Psychosurgeons from Australia, The Rocks from Australia as well. This is just like, what was this guy thinking? What was the mindset in here? Great series, Teenage Streets. It's a banger. This one has like The News, The Numbers, Daleks, Bodies, Autographs, The Bees, Xerox covers, kind of like bootleg. This is great. Oh, should have grabbed the Power Pros too, which I didn't, but never mind. Bar Teenagers, great series. Great series. A lot of bands, a lot of these recordings you cannot find anywhere else but on these comps, and there's a lot of bands that you'll be like, wow, how the hell these guys never made it. This is a great comp that I also put it in the stack because this comp, I see it often, super cheap. Wax Attack Volume 1, a collection of rare punk rock. Yeah, and this has like Subhumans, Ratus, Escrovuto, Trevet Cadet, Society Dog, Molesters and Razors. So no rhyme or reason, nothing makes sense here. Finland, Canada, Germany, Spain, banger. Classics. These are all classics. Great comp. Cover that my people that like might push some people away. Screaming Feast, great series. This comp is a banger. This comp has Nosebleeds, Lewd, Unnatural Acts, Suicide Commandos, Jerks, Victims, Anti-Hour League, Users, Lockjaw, Skinnies, You Jerks, DOA, Low Life, and Reruns. This is a banger. This series is fucking awesome. As well as this one. Pick this one. This is my favorite. Back to the Front, Volume 2. Back to the Front series, they're all great. The first one has Arlie Flanagan on the cover from the Stimulators Loud Fast Rules EP. But dude, this is the quality of sound on these Vector Frongs are awesome, and the selection is just like all over the place. For instance, the cigarettes, features, and then spelling mistakes, Newton neurotics, fuck you too, Gothenburg sound. This is just amazing. International unknown punk. Most of these bands, if it wasn't for these punks, we will not be aware of it. We will not be aware of it. Some of these bands you cannot even fucking Google them until these days. And of course, Killed by Dead. I picked one, and Bloodstains. This is our essential comps for the nerds, you know that. Don't need to be told. Just to end this, it's almost an hour in here. I hope you find some interesting music through these comps. I hope you enjoy seeing some of your favorite comps in this video. That will give you a reason to say hi, you know, throw a comment at me, make some suggestions, you know, reminding me of things that I I'm not aware, or it's been a long time since I heard about it. Just send it my way, because that's why I'm here, is to connect with you guys. Is to not be fucking listening to this shit alone. And one thing about comps is like, the beauty of comps is like, it's like a chocolate box, right? When you buy a comp blind, it's like a blind buy, and it's a comp. There's a chance then you're gonna bump into things that you were not expecting, that even yourself, even your brain was not prepared to process it. Like, this is an example. This is not a great comp, but this tells you a little bit how I feel about compilations. Punk live in the Brover Shock, whatever. I bought this comp many moons ago. I bought this comp alone because of the name of one band. I was like, what the fuck? This was cheap. Spoiled Sperm. What a name for a band. I was like, whoa, Spoiled Sperm. Fuck, I'm gonna give it a go. And plus, Captain Sensible. Doesn't make any sense. Captain Sensible seems to be in all these fucking oddball things. I don't know. But this comp has bands that I never heard. The only two bands that I knew when I bought this comp was Captain Sensible and The Shirts. That was it. I didn't know any other bands. There's bands such as The Chops, Murder Inc., Malicious Damage, Spoiled Sperm, Pin Basket's Mortal Remains in the outtakes. So, I bought this comp, let's say 30 years ago. 80% of the bands in this comp, I'm still to find a record by them or bump into anything in those bands. Fucking killer shit, and still putting me to work, because I'm gonna find something from those bands. But that's the beauty of comps, you know, especially, you know, talking about vinyl records, the wax, not the streaming, right? When you buy something that provides you something that puts you to work, makes you think, makes you excited, you know, it gives you a purpose. So my point is, do not ignore the compilation section, or if you want to, ignore it. As long as I'll be the next one going to that bin and find it for myself, that's cool. I hope you guys have a good weekend. This is a long ass video, but I hope you appreciate it, man. Just send feedback my way as always. I appreciate your support. You guys take care. Cheers.